And thank you for joining this class today, this session today. Orhan, would you be able to share your slides?
Yes, sure can.
Alrighty, so I'm going to do a very brief introduction of Urban League and what it is that we do for those who are not familiar. So again, my name is Lori Jackson. I'm the director of the Women's Business Resource Center with Urban League of Louisiana. But within our community of Urban League, we also have two other centers under the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. We have the Contractors Resource Center, and then we also have a dedicated resource to help entities and entrepreneurs like yourself who are trying to complete your DBE certification. And so within these three entities under the Center of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, we focus on a couple of different things. So one of our first focuses is on small business education, trainings for early and startup businesses in any stage pretty much. And so classes like this is our bread and butter to be able to help entrepreneurs succeed. We have entrepreneurial, developmental, and actual leadership training classes, which is our accelerator programs, such as our Startup Louisiana, as well as our Scale Up Louisiana cohorts. And then in addition to that, we provide one-on-one business advising. This allows you to sit down with a professional who is equipped to be able to assist you and walk you through your entrepreneurship journey, rather than you having to take that walk yourself. For our contractor center, we have mastery level training, advanced counseling, as well as technology labs to assist contractors with making sure that they are ready for any type of bid process that might come out, or they are certified to be able to qualify for RFPs and different things that are introduced through in the economy. And last but not least, we also assist our entrepreneurs by being able to connect you with resources and networking events that we host, or that other entities that we know will provide support to you host as well. And so that way you can have access to the people that you need to have access to through our connections in our name. Next slide, please. And so here are a few of our flagship programs. As I mentioned, our Scale Up Louisiana program, as well as our Startup Louisiana program. We have some phenomenal programs with the Black Restaurant Accelerator program that we initiated in 2020, after the pandemic started. And then we have other programs that are still going on in different parts of Louisiana. So as you get emails from us, if you qualify for any of these programs, you apply, or if you know any other entrepreneurs that could qualify for these programs, you're forwarding it to them so they can have access, because all of these programs are presented to the public for free thanks to our sponsors that we have. Next slide, please. So if you don't have access to our emails, you can follow us on our social medias platforms using any of these tags. You can look up the events and the different trainings that we host on Eventbrite, and you can also email us at any of the 3 email addresses you see on the screen if you are interested in being able to work with a business advisor one-on-one, or you have additional questions about the different programs and things that we offer. So with that being said, I am going to turn today over to your presenter, which is Orhan Mcmillan, and I'll let him introduce himself, but I will say Orhan is a phenomenal instructor and a guru when it comes to marketing and being able to just break it down and make it make sense, right? So Orhan, we definitely appreciate you coming on as our facilitator today, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Lori. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Good morning, everybody. As we get ready to start hopefully a holiday weekend for everybody. I know I'm looking forward to a little downtime this weekend, but it's great that you've taken the time to come today to join us for this really interesting and informative seminar workshop. I've done quite a bit of these, and this is really some great new information that we've been able to put together for everybody that really does focus what part of what's changed. We're coming out of the COVID experience that we had, and in our businesses, no matter what type of business you were in, you were affected. And so that is one thing that we are going to talk about today, and how it relates to marketing, some of the things that have changed in that. I've had a web design and marketing company for 22 years, and it's all different now. It really is. Just watching the things that have happened during COVID, and how businesses changed, and how we had to pivot as businesses, going from more traditional marketing to digital and all of those things. So we're going to really dive deep into that today. But I wouldn't mind if you want to introduce yourself and let me know what type of business you're in yourselves. We've got a few extra minutes here. So let's see, how can we do that? Because that way I can learn a little bit more about you. All right, Lee, why don't you go first, Lee? I believe it's Lee. You might need to unmute yourself. I unmuted you on my end, but if you can unmute yourself and just tell me what kind of business you're in. Okay, what about Lydia?
Good morning. I'm
Hi.
in the embroidery business.
Ah, nice, nice. Very good. That's a great business to be in. How's business going for you?
Good.
Good.
The last 5, 6 months been really good.
That's excellent news. Great. Well, hopefully some of this stuff that we'll go through today will help you increase that if that is something you're looking to do. So welcome, Lydia.
Thank you.
What about Sandra? Good morning, Sandra. How are you doing today? I got two Sandras in here, so I'm going to unmute Sandra twice. All right, if you want to unmute yourself. And what about
How you doing? This is Sandra.
Hey, Sandra, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. I am into the telecommunications.
Okay.
Yeah, very interesting.
Very interesting in the telecommunications world.
Yes, yes, I am. A
Well,
little bit of internet,
okay,
all that,
okay,
and telephone service.
okay, awesome, great. What's
It's
the name of your business?
a good business. Thank
What's the
you.
name of your company?
Webster Telecommunications and
Nice.
Utilities, LLC.
Nice. Well, welcome, Sandra.
Thank you.
All right, and we have Ursula. Ursula, you're up. Why don't you introduce yourself, Ursula? Oop, let me unmute you. Hold on one second. All right. There we go. Let's see if Ursula, we can get you unmuted so you can introduce yourself. All righty. All right. If y'all get a chance as we're going through this, feel free to unmute. But we're going to go ahead and get started here. And as Christina said, if you've got questions, either just interrupt, post it in the question section or something like that, because there's quite a bit of some pretty in-depth information here that we're going to go through. So we're going to start out with this. So, what are some things that we have learned from COVID? Well, it disrupted everything, right? It brought profound changes in all parts of our lives, our business, our personal, everything. We know that for sure. With the stay-at-home mandates, we enforced to promote the health and safety of communities. It resulted in a massive disruption of businesses of all sizes. Every single business was disrupted. And while it made for the greater good of society, these changes to business procedures and practices left many of us in super vulnerable positions that we had never been in before. And even now, as things begin to progress for the better, it's safe to say, I think, in 22 that, and this year, that things have not reverted back to business as usual, nor will they. There's going to be a new operating system. There's a new way of we're going to be doing things, a new way that customers have become accustomed to engaging with businesses, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And then obviously there will be undoubtedly lasting effects across social, economic, digital, and all behavioral aspects of our life. One of the significant lifestyle changes that resulted from COVID is such as remote work. We didn't do remote work before. Now that's become a commonplace, working from home, working remotely. At-home schooling, God bless the people that had to do that. I just well wishes and the best I can wish for you that had to do homeschooling while trying to work. Things like curbside pickup, order ahead, those type of delivery, It really contributed to the development of new social values and trends in online behavior and consumer preferences. But as small businesses, we can leverage these insights to revise and optimize our digital marketing strategies and our marketing strategies. So by evaluating or reevaluating your consumers' behaviors and actions, that will help ensure that your marketing efforts are relevant and they're set up to produce a positive return on your investment. So as we're moving more into like the post-pandemic marketing area, it might seem like it's a huge task, and there's a lot to it, but we can learn a lot from 2020 and 2021. And some questions that we can ask ourselves are, what are the most important takeaways from the pandemic as they affected us? How should we account for changes in behavior in our marketing planning? And how has the marketing landscape changed over the course of the pandemic? And the following are 10 key insights that we've pulled from the Harvard Business Review, 10 key truths about marketing after the pandemic that we're going to go through today. So number one, as we get into it, customer segmentation. So the old truth in this was that marketing begins with knowing your customer. We knew that was always part of marketing. Now we have to know your customer segment, even a more deeper dive into who our customers are. So what is customer segmentation, and how do we get down into that? Well, the COVID-19 crisis has reinforced what we already knew, that brands must communicate in very local and precise terms and specific terms for consumers based on their circumstances and what is most relevant to them. That was a very large part that came out of the development or the business expansion through COVID. And that means that truly understanding the situation on the ground, country by country, state by state, zip code by zip code, is very important for us as small business owners and business owners in general. And for some businesses, such as banks and restaurants and retailers, it may even mean tailoring communication store by store. So if you have multiple locations, one store may need to communicate in one way because their customer segmentation is different than a store that's located in another area or another neighborhood. And beyond geography, we've learned that marketing messages need to be personally relevant and aligned to an individual's situation and values, as opposed to just general demographics like age and gender, more specific circumstances. And I'm going to give you an example of that here in a moment. But by creating a personal human connection within any commercial message, it requires defining the consumer segments, those individual parts of the target market that describe people according to multiple dimensions that influence their purchasing behavior, from their psychographics to their attitudinal characteristics. So their attitudes, their mental patterns, their mental behaviors, those different type of things are necessary now to really get specific with who our customer segmentations are. So the Consumer Index, which has conducted 5 ways of research with 14,500 individuals in 20 countries since the start of the pandemic, has identified 5 different cohorts of consumers, 5 general cohorts of this. 32% of consumers are affordability first. That means living within their means and budget, focusing less on brands and more on product functionality. So 32% since the pandemic and through the pandemic. 25% of consumers are health first, protecting their health and that of their family, choosing products they trust to be safe and minimizing the risks in the way that they shop. Also, so health first mindset. 16% planet first, trying to minimize our impact on the environment and buying brands and products that reflect our beliefs. 15% society first, working for the greater good, buying from organizations they find to be honest and transparent. And 12% experience first, living in the moment to make the most out of life, often making them open to new products, brands, and experiences. So what can you do with this information? Well, you can look at this and begin to understand that these 5 areas, if you're able to adjust your marketing message for affordability, for health, for planet, for society, and for experiences, if your business falls into those, you know that you're going to reach a large part of the consumer market. And so that way you can be confident in your messaging and your marketing strategies. And by utilizing customer segmentation and personas, which we're going to get into, it can bring deeper insights to your media strategies and your creative marketing approaches and your messaging. And better still, these insights can be carried through to inform the full customer journey. And we're going to talk about the customer journey as well today. So customer segmentation is number one. That was the first thing. And here's an example. So a persona for a cosmetics brand. So one persona might be, and we have multiple personas in our business, is Rosa Rodriguez. She's 42. She's in Chicago, Illinois, and she's a manager at a mall clothing store. Well, Rosa's background, she's always loved going out with her friends when she was younger. After getting married and having two teenage boys, she started working as a manager at a clothing store. Her husband is away a lot on business, so Rosa's always busy around the house. But her personal goals, she wishes to have more time for herself and feel like her younger self. She wants to feel good in her skin. Her frustrations are that she's has to manage being a mother and a manager and keep up with the house and keep up with the kids and everything because the husband works quite a bit and he's away, which adds up to full-time dedication. This makes it harder for her to dress up and up with the friends and wear nice clothing and obviously the makeup. And some of her friends have more free time than she does. So how can this cosmetics brand solve her frustrations? Well, they're geared, the cosmetics, they're geared towards those without a lot of time to try multiple colors and flavors. Rosa will identify with our message as other cosmetics are usually targeted to younger women. These cosmetics will be targeted to older women, to middle-aged women. She will feel more seen and heard, and therefore she will consider trying their products. So this is an example of specific customer segmentation for a business to be able to do. And again, if y'all have any questions as we go through this, just enter them into the questions and Christine will help me monitor that. So how can you shift your marketing message to appeal to different customer segments? That's a wonderful question you'll be able to ask yourself and think about, and to define those individual personas and behavior patterns so that you can adjust multiple marketing messages to appeal to the individual. Number two is our competition, right? We always hear about our competition. The old truth, you're competing with your competitors. The new truth is you're competing with the last best experience your customer had. I want to repeat that because that's important. We're now competing with the last best experience our customer had as it relates to our business. That kind of changes things for us. It used to be we thought we were just competing with competitors. No, we're actually trying to be better, create a better experience for the customer than they had their last time engaging in our type of business. Well, customer expectations were already on the rise before COVID-19. We knew that. Generation Z and after grew up with technology that is seamlessly integrated in their lives. It's everything they do is with technology. Direct-to-consumer companies were already conditioning us to expect a level of hyper-personalization since they were particularly adept with our personal data because the information that we can gather by being online and the data that's gathered from that, the direct to consumers were already moving in that direction. COVID just made it happen faster. But with coronavirus, the digital transformation accelerated overnight. Everything changed. Online commerce, online communications, all of those things shifted into ultra high gear. This in turn sent consumer expectations skyrocketing in terms of what companies could do for them with a more digital experience. So we knew it was happening already, but with COVID-19 and with COVID and the pandemic, it sent the consumer expectations as well about what they could expect from us in our businesses. And we know this because customer expects so much more than just a seamless digital transaction, so much more. They still want the personalization. They still want the communication in that digital experience. And now that companies have their personal data, they want anticipatory, personalized experiences across the entire customer journey. And we're going to talk about customer journey too as well. So companies should follow 3 strategies to ensure their experiences deliver their customers' rising expectations. Number 1, make key marketing metrics a priority for your business using real-time analytics as opposed to a snapshot looking backwards from a point in time. So marketing metric, that's analytics, whether that is Google Analytics or social media analytics, those type of things. We can capture those real time now. We can see who's on, who's interacting, and use as opposed to let me look at what happened over the last 30 days and make decisions going forward. We're able to do that in a real time aspect now. And number 2, building the right data and technology foundation to support important use cases throughout the customer journey. So in other words, using the data, using the technology to customize those customer messages throughout that customer journey. And number 3 is align your strategies across the customer journey so that any disconnects across the touch points are minimized. And we're going to talk about that customer journey a little bit more in a little bit. But again, the different strategies you're going to use in that journey so to minimize any kind of disconnects that the consumer may experience. So for example, your competition. The customer service at Cluster Truck is so seamless, you may not know whether you're troubleshooting with the customer service team or the marketing team. The CEO sends regular emails to the Cluster Truck customers. In one example, a customer noticed she could get a good deal on her next order, but during the pandemic, she wasn't able to receive delivery in the area where she lived during the pandemic. So the customer service team sprung into action, offering her a long list of exact locations she could pick up her order that was close to as possible to where she lived. And without leaving, but it didn't leave the cluster truck delivery range. And so they were able to find out that there was a problem. They were able to tailor that problem into a solution and offer this individual a way, okay, we can't deliver to you there, but here's where you can go to pick up our food. And another customer service rep then chimed in with a map that starred the locations for visual representation where she could pick up her food. So again, it's that immediacy, it's the immediacy of response that we're in nowadays, that we have that ability through communications, through web communications, through online chat, through messaging, etc. We can really help resolve and address customer issues as they happen. So, question about the competition. How can you best personalize your customer's experience for optimal results, understanding that you are competing with their last best experience? Great question to ask yourself. Number 3, customer expectations. So the old truth is customers hope you have what they want. Well, today, customers expect you to have exactly what they want, unfortunately, as if it wasn't difficult enough already. So if the bar just keeps on rising, we must aspire to new values around customer experiences in both business to consumer and business to business context. It just keeps getting higher. Consumers today expect that any experience will be frictionless, anticipatory of what their needs, relevant to what their needs are, and connected. They expect this now. In other words, they're concerned only with getting what they want, when they want, how they want it. Yeah, let's just exhale on that, because as if it wasn't difficult enough already. But it is true. It is. We can, with technology, with communication, with everything we have in our consumer marketplace, we expect this now. And so we want, as business owners, to be able to tailor that the best we can in our individual businesses so that we create those frictionless, anticipatory, relevant, and connected experience for our customers. But again, it requires us to place data and technology at the core of the marketing strategy. We're analyzing data, collecting data, and using technology to message to achieve the marketing strategy. So data enables us to create more relevant experiences across one or more dimensions of the 4 C's. So the 4 C's are content, commerce, community, and convenience. Content that can be provided in experiences like emails, mobile apps, digital communications, social media communications. Commerce, such as a physical retail, online e-commerce, or a hybrid experience, is the commerce part. Community is such as convening B2B buyers at a virtual trade show or hosting a webinar on home repair. Those type of things where we build community around the work that we do, around the work that our businesses do. And we're looking for convenience, like offering consumers coupons or benefits from a loyalty program, convenience of accessibility, things of that nature. Further along with customer expectations, today most of the 4 C's are delivered in one-size-fits-all approaches, but now we need to be able to tailor those individual, using again data and intelligence, to personalize those 4 C's, to sharpen the decision making and drive greater relevance in the customer interactions. But this will build stronger human connection to the brands, and that's what we're trying to do with this. Is we're trying to build stronger human connections to the brand of our business by utilizing content and commerce and community and convenience. So here's an example of customer expectations, a beauty salon. So the beauty salon's already posting on social, it's making TikToks with customers and getting bookings through a calendar app. If not, you should be. But how do you take it a step further and really ramp up your customer experience for your hair salon? But one way is to learn more about your customers pre-appointment before they make the appointment. I mean, before they come in for the appointment. So by using a smart booking system, you can go beyond just taking digital bookings. You can actually get to know more about the customer at this stage of the process, and then you can personalize the service that you can provide. For example, you can ask a customer, when was your last hair coloring? Or whether or not they've used a particular product that you may offer, that you may sell. Not only will this help you with the service that you provide for the customer, but they'll feel like they're really getting specialized treatment and attention for you. And so, as opposed to waiting for someone to come in for the appointment and then finding out this information, digitally, you can ask this information ahead of time. You can do that through like a survey or an online form and just find out, hey, when was your last hair color? When was, but again, you want to make sure that it's relevant to that individual. So you may have different forms and things of that nature, but you're gathering information ahead of time that serves two purposes. Gives you information that you can use to sell more to the customer, but it also makes the consumer, the customer, your customer, feel heard and seen and valued. So a question to ask when it comes to customer expectations: how can you learn more about what your customers expect? How can you learn more? Well, ask them. And how can you enhance your customer journey to meet or exceed these expectations? What is small ways that you can do that that will impress upon the customer how important they are to you? Text messaging. I mean, there's numerous different ways of doing this, and just to be able to create it that you can still build into kind of the operating system of your business. So number 4 is courting customers. So old truth was courting customers was just like dating. New truth is courting customers is just like online dating. More of it, a lot more of it, a lot more out there. So courting customers. For many businesses, marketing is about reaching as many people on social media as possible, whether they are your target customer or not. It's like going to as many parties or bars as you can in the hope you will find that special someone. By casting a wide net and seeing who bites, it wastes time, money, and resources for small business. It does, because we're having to put so much out there in hopes that we're able to capture one or two. I love this online dating thing, the reference. So enter online dating and swiping through apps. Now, finding your perfect match may be less about chance and more about data and algorithms. But in marketing terms, we've seen a shift from brand marketing to build reach to performance marketing. And we're going to talk about performance marketing here now to generate leads. The pandemic's acceleration of digital channels only exacerbated that trend. So, what is performance marketing? It's a type of digital marketing where brands only pay marketing service providers once their business goals are met or when specific actions or metrics are completed, such as a click, a sale, or a lead. As opposed to massive marketing where it was just, putting it out there hoping someone would done. Performance marketing is you will get paid whenever these achieved goals are done. Where, like I said, whether it's a click through that we can track online, whether it's a sale or a lead that's given, those type of things are more for the performance marketing. Now, while performance marketing enjoys a strong and important position, marketers also recognize that it's a fine balance of brand and performance marketing that delivers the best results. We've got to talk about the brand of the business. We've done many workshops and seminars around branding and brand messaging and what that means. We're still got to get the brand of our message. We still got to get the core values out there of who we are and what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve out there, along with the performance marketing expectations. Many businesses are enhancing their CRM, their customer relationship management, to become more aligned with their goals and their customer touchpoints. CRM, which is powered principally by first-party data or customer data that the company owns, is the driving force for initiatives like coupons and personalization and email marketing, because by having a good CRM system in place, we can then tailor those messages, like, for example, with the beauty shop and knowing someone's last time they had a hair color or if they've used this product, by beginning to incorporate CRM systems into our work, into our business. And again, any questions on this? Just put them in the question box. Now, although the first-party data can help generate greater efficiency in media, and particularly digital media and other addressable formats, allowing businesses to target on a one-to-one basis. With third-party data declining in value as key browsers usher in rule changes in 2022, marketers are getting way better at engineering the online dates that they want to go on, learning the new ways they need to harness the power of their own data, and developing new strategies to partner with publishers. And even as the targeting or the data, we'll keep using that dating as even as the dating strategies shift with the new rules of the game, it will be important for businesses to leave space for both brand and performance marketing, given that bottom funnel strategies drive top funnel goals and vice versa. Simply put, they work better together. So brand messaging, performance marketing results working together to improve your business, consumer and customer relationships, and therefore drive greater sales. So here's an example of courting customers. So brand marketing can be woven into a performance marketing strategy in a way that preserves the measurability and immediacy of mobile. So using mobile as part of that. So doing the branding and yet the specifics of, for example, choosing your own flavor. How do I, how much, if you're ordering coffee, how much cream, how much sugar. I had this experience the other day when I was ordering or using an online app to order room service at a hotel that I was at. And this is the first time I've ever experienced this, is when I was there and I clicked coffee. I wanted coffee delivered that morning. First of all, it asked me regular decaf. And here's a really crazy experience that I never had. It asked me for three different other additional questions, whether I wanted Splenda, and not just asked me if I wanted Splenda, did I want light Splenda, medium Splenda, or heavy Splenda? Then the next question was sugar, same thing, light, medium, heavy, and then cream, light, medium, or heavy. I never experienced that much detail, asking that much detail about ordering a cup of coffee to be delivered to my room. So that's a real-time example that I just experienced, where they're expanding what the customer expectations are from the old mindset of, do they want cream or sugar? Because again, not everybody can drink sugar, or not everybody can consume sugar, so they had to offer a third option for that as well. But again, building that into the mobile aspect, because this is all done by phone. And the other part is, it was in the hotel room, it was a little QR code that I scanned that opened the app. So again, leveraging technology for our consumers. I'm seeing it. So I just seen that this thing references coffee. But again, you certainly could run a massive performance campaign about downloading your app, but who's going to download an app if they've never heard of you? So again, really trying to get inside the mindset of the consumer and the customer as to what their expectations would be. So here are some questions you can ask yourself about courting customers. Are you using performance marketing today? Are you using any kind of performance marketing aspect in your business? And what channels are you using to court your customers? Are you using a CRM, a customer relationship management tool today? There's lots of them out there. And what are some ways that you can couple performance and brand marketing for your business? Again, some really, really in-depth, powerful questions that you can ask. Number 5, the customer journey. Yes. So the old truth on the customer journey is customers must sit at the heart of your marketing strategy. The new truth is customers must sit at the heart of your customer journey. Let's talk a little bit about that. This is one of my favorite graphic illustrations of a customer journey. And I'm going to go through these steps a little bit in more detail. So obviously, when it comes to someone purchasing from us or buying from us or even wanting to buy from us, there's a trigger. There's a trigger that happens. Something happens. They desire something. They want something. They need something. Something's broken. So then there's an initial consideration set. There's initial consideration of brands that we may know of, that we've seen, that we've heard, that we then put into this kind of like this bucket of initial consideration. And from those, we begin to actively evaluate. We gather information, we go online, we look for reviews, we look for feedback, we look for capabilities, we look for pricing. All of those is the active evaluation phase. And then there's the moment of purchase where we make a decision and we purchase from a company. But that's where kind of the old model stopped. But the new model now is the post-purchase experiences. What is the ongoing exposure that we can have with our consumers and our customers that then create loyalty? Well, post-purchase surveys, questions, a possible add-on value aspect to what they bought before. But by doing this, by checking in with the consumer, by checking in with their experience, how they experienced us, that then creates loyalty. That then again, either they'll buy from us again, or they'll refer us with their family and their friends and the people that they know. So this is the consumer, and what we're looking at is making sure us as businesses, we have the right information when someone is considering us, when they're evaluating us, the moment of purchase, that we make it easy for them to buy from us, and then what that post-purchase experience is, and then understanding that by doing that, we create this amazing loyalty loop of people that are true and connected to our brand and our business. So the concept of customer centricity is not news. I mean, we've known that we have to be focused more on the individual customer needs. They want that. We want to be individualized. But customer touch points are often disconnected because of ownership, control, technologies, or geography. The question is, how can we conceal these internal disconnects from the customer who assumes that the whole company knows them holistically? So we've all called customer service and spoken to a call center rep or chatbot that was not operating with the same information as a retail location, and vice versa. So again, as business owners, whatever our size, is how can we make this as seamless and integrated as possible with our customers at those different points of their journey? And we must remember that marketing is often just the beginning of the relationship. Our marketing is just kind of the introduction. It's our hello, it's our calling card. And from there, we then begin to deepen those relationships by the experience they have with us. So, in a business consumer context, we go through a journey of engaging them, converting them to a sale directly or indirectly, and then hopefully retaining them so they become advocates and potentially open to upsells and cross sells. Marketing must be viewed in the context of the full end-to-end journey, and where possible, work to connect the dots. It is not realistic to believe that the operating model for all customer-facing functions can or should report to the same place. That again, each person there's going to be an individual experience that each person has in their customer journey. So it's not a one size fits all. But it's more important to look thoughtfully at the operating model and consider the processes, technology, talent, data models, and metrics to find the right ways to align objectively around the customer's needs and then drive change accordingly. So an example of a customer journey is offering free online promotions that communicate with staff members and let them know about the touch points. So that, in other words, if we're offering a buy one, get one free coffee promotion online, we need to make sure that our staff knows about that so that they can promote that, because nothing more frustrating than a customer saying, hey, or they find out about it later, but we were just there at Skillet and nobody told us about the buy one, get one free option that's available on Facebook right now or available by email. And that causes a disconnect with the customer experience. Another example of your customer journey. So a pizza place. Defining customer touch points. So touch points are encounters that happen between your business and your customers. In the pizza restaurant example, touch points happen at the awareness phase. When Eva is actively looking for a pizza place nearby, she is asking around, searching locations on Google Maps, etc. At the research phase, she's trying to find out what people say about the place and asking her friends and reading online reviews about this place she may have found. At the arrival stage, when Eva is searching for a parking spot, enters the restaurant to get seated after parking the car. Again, very detailed experiences. At the order stage, when she makes an order, that's another touch point. So each of our businesses, if you really look at it, each of our businesses have different touch points that go into even more detail than the graphic that I showed. Well, then it's time to eat. At this stage, the touch points occur when Eva is being served, when she's eating her meal. At the leave stage, when Eva interacts with the waiter, pays for the meal, is leaving. Feedback, when she goes to the pizzeria's websites and drops a few lines on Instagram. At the last stage, when Eva gets a promotion email because they've gotten her email address from the restaurant with the discounts or another special offer. So finding these touch points is critical because each touch point leaves an impression, and your main goal is to keep it up to the mark. Keep that impression going with your customers. So you can see even this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different touch points for that one customer experience that as businesses we can define for ourselves. So question, How have you mapped your customer journey? And if not, let's do that. And how do you ensure that all your customer touch points in your business are integrated and on the same page? That's some good stuff. I love this stuff. Number 6, relationships. The old truth, relationships matter. New truth, relationships are everything. That has not changed at all. They've just gotten deeper and more important. The relationships we have with our consumers and our customers. It's vital to build relationships, and it needs to be founded on trust. They have to be able to trust us. We need to build that trust as we engage with our customers. Advertising, for example, makes a brand promise. That's our marketing. We make a promise, and then it falls to the product, the service, and the customer experience to deliver on that promise. That's very important. I want to repeat that. So advertising makes a promise. By doing an advertisement or putting out a promotion or marketing campaign, that is putting out, that's saying, here's what we will do. Then, after that initial promise is made, it falls on us, the product, the service, the customer experience, to deliver on the product promise that we made in that advertisement. Now, COVID-19 has placed a new emphasis on relationships, particularly in the B2B sales. So faced now with a virtual sales environment, teams with existing relationships have been able to maintain revenue momentum, capitalizing on the strength of their prior bonds. But in contrast, prospecting for new customers has required an evolved set of skills focused on selling solutions, not products. Again, selling solutions, not products. In both cases, trust and integrity are fundamental. It's paramount to build trust and hold our integrity in our business to drive marketing momentum. For entrepreneurs and B2B organizations, this has necessitated a serious recasting of talent to identify people best suited to driving relationships in this new world of online interactions. Trust will be built by and rewarded to those that listen to customer needs and then craft solutions to meet those needs. So again, relationships, really beginning to think about relationships in our business. In a B2C context, trust also plays a tremendous role. It's foundational to the value exchange between a customer from a company and a consumer. As companies rely increasingly on personal data, they also have the opportunity to consider building even more loyalty and differentiation by designing more transparent interfaces for privacy controls. Consumers can make better choices if they know what they are agreeing to share with companies, and the clarity will foster deeper trust. I'm gonna give an example outside of this. Again, going back to this hotel experience I had, I was able to go to New York City last week, and I stayed at this hotel. An example of relationship. So when I was checking in, it was a great experience. I had called ahead, got this great room with a great view, just absolutely phenomenal. And so, you know, I was so moved by how beautiful everything was. When I come back downstairs later that day, the same lady that checked me in, I just walked up to the counter and I just said, "Hey, I just want to tell you that room is amazing. It took my breath away. I'm just so excited about the stay here. You know, I'm excited about going out into the streets and seeing things, but I'm just excited about coming back to the hotel and enjoying the room." Well, 2 or 3 days later, I'm sitting waiting on an Uber in the lobby, and she sees me. Now, she had no business doing this. She didn't have to do this, but she came up and she was off the clock. I mean, she was leaving, and she's got, "Just want to check in. How's the room going for you? When do you leave? When do you check out?" And I was like, "I've still got a few more." "Oh, well, good. I'll still be here tomorrow. You know, if there's anything you need, you let me know." I can't even tell you what that did for me as far as relationship. And now I'm talking about the Hotel Bentley, right? I'm sitting here sharing this with you about how that was done through the touch point of relationship of her connection to me. Here's another example of a massage therapist. So let's say a client sends you an email expressing how massage therapy has helped relieve their symptoms of multiple sclerosis, MS. With no intended malice, you or someone helping with your business website and social media presence post the client's name and her kind words as a testimonial. Well, what if this client wanted to keep their MS private? Your testimonial resulted in security breach and a breach of trust and integrity. To avoid such potential problems, enact a zero tolerance plan that no client information will be posted, tweeted, emailed, or shared in any way by first alerting the client and obtaining written permission to share the information. So something as simple as cross-promoting a testimonial that someone said to you privately and then putting it public. So again, just things to think about when it comes to its trust and its integrity. So how can you be more deliberate about building customer trust? Number 7 is agility. The old truth, agility is a technology process. The new truth, agility is a modern marketing approach. So being agile, being able to pivot, being able to turn to it, being agile. It used to be technology agility, but now it's a modern marketing approach. We've heard for years that technological development benefits from agile cycles instead of sequential or linear approaches. COVID-19 created an irreversible trend for marketing to embrace a similarly nimble mentality. As the crisis has unfolded, a company could quickly find its message was wrong or its supply chain not in a position to deliver, right? We discovered that quickly, very quickly, unfortunately. But it immediately created an advertising and or public relations crisis as we discovered those flaws in our process, in our communications, et cetera, across the board. The one good thing that I remember specifically whenever I was discovering things like that, I was like, well, it's not just me. Everybody else is experiencing the same thing. But the fortunate outcome of the crisis was to create a mindset of marketing agility. How can we pivot? What can we do that we can adjust our marketing message to fix the flaws that we've discovered? So this includes continuous consumer listening and demand sensing. In other words, we have to be able to listen to the consumer. We have to be able to check in with the consumer, not only for the benefit of marketing, but the full company to capture changes in consumer sentiment. Now, operationally, it also means faster decision cycles and more flexibility across key areas like product delivery, service accessibility, scheduling, payment processing, all of those things. So again, faster decision cycles, more flexibility, because again, that's how we operated with the pandemic, was how do we get our products delivered safely at the safety of us, our employees, and our consumers? How can we be more accessible? How can we get people scheduling? All of those things were part of the agility that we needed to change and continue to now embed in the foundational structure, because now it's become an expectation. So some of the things that we've seen everywhere, huge thing, delivery service, number 1, curbside pickup, number 2, outdoor seating at restaurants and coffee shops, etc. Virtual meetings, all of those things have now not only they became as a result of the pandemic, now they're an expectation of our consumers. Online shopping, video marketing, mobile messaging, again, now they're expectations. So how can you become more agile in your marketing tactics as your business grows? Just think about those things. How can you become more agile? Number 8, great values. So, old truth is your brand should stand behind great products. The new truth is your brand should stand behind great values. And again, I want to reemphasize this. It's not just about being behind great products anymore. It's behind being great values. What do we represent? What do we stand for in our businesses that are our core values that we stand behind? The pandemic challenged brand loyalty in every level. Again, 61% of consumers, depending on the category, became willing to consider a white label product, let alone switch name brands. 61%. That dynamic, coupled with growing consumer awareness and activism precipitated during the social unrest and change of 2020, should make brands very focused on the values they express. Very focused. In fact, key themes from that research show that while quality, convenience, and price still very much matter to consumer choice, factors like sustainability, trust, ethical sourcing, social responsibility are very important to our consumers and how they select our products and services. Again, sustainability, trust, ethical sourcing, social responsibility, who we are as business owners, what we stand for, are fundamentally important aspects. Marketing has an opportunity to educate businesses on the importance of brand values when it comes to differentiating in a post-pandemic marketplace where brand preferences have been upended. And it's a matter of not only defining those core values, who we are as individual businesses, but then market those messages continuously on the digital platforms that we have, whether that's in our retail locations, whether it's on our social media, what's on our email, digital signatures, all of those things to continue to reinforce to our consumers what we stand for. Some examples: supporting local farmers, recycling, rethink choices. We welcome races, all religions, countries of origin, sexual orientations, genders, all of those things. Again, I guess my theme today is New York City. I was also blown away by the amount of transgender advertisement in New York City in businesses of all types, small business, small restaurant signs, we welcome. So again, it's a trend. I mean, it's a social movement, and it's just where we are in our businesses that we align with those. There was one place I stopped and to eat, and they had like a chalkboard. It was a salad, like a healthy place, and they had a chalkboard that listed the local farms where the lettuce came from, the tomatoes came from, the artichokes, whatever it was that they got. This is the name of the business, and so you're eating there, reading this thing. So again, they because in their messaging, they were saying that they were sustainable business that supported local farmers. Well, here's where they were showing it. So again, just a small way, nothing extravagant. So some questions to ask about values: have you identified the values that are important to your customers? I'm gonna add something else: have you identified the values that are important to you? I would switch. I'm gonna make an edit to this. I think the first thing you need to do is ask the questions that the values that are important to you, the values that are important to your customer, and see where they align. And once you've identified those, how can you highlight those values within your marketing strategy? Number 9, modern marketing success. So the old truth is you need the right tech stack to drive modern marketing. The new truth, you need the right balance of factors, including technology, to drive marketing success. As an abundance of advertising and marketing technologies proliferate everywhere, it's been easy to focus on the proverbial tech stack as an end-all game changer for marketing. However, having a Ferrari that you can only drive 40 miles per hour is not much use, right? So for technology architecture to drive results, it must be matched with sufficient scale and data to fuel its success, the right use cases to drive results, and the right approach to human enablement. The latter part of this requirement is perhaps the most, and it's how do we enable this to be reachable with our consumers in the modern. So we have the tech data, we have the information to drive the results, but we have to make sure that is accessible to our consumers. Human enablement involves understanding how data and technologies will be used across the organization to impress upon, build relationships, that making sure that people have the right skills to employ it effectively, and that the right measurement approach is in place to motivate innovation and success. But without technology, data, and human enablement and use cases in fine balance, the desired return on investment for marketing technology will not be realized. So without using these things of technology, the human enablement, and cases in fine balance with the data, then we're not going to get the best result that we possibly could. So here's some example of modern marketing success. For any business, one of the most important things to track is each customer's previous purchases. Basic, what did they buy before? How do we understand what the customer bought from us before? And knowing what a customer buys can tell you what's important to them, and it can also help you anticipate future purchases. For example, imagine you're a professional photographer who specializes in portraiture. People from all around reach out to you for everything from modeling portfolios to LinkedIn headshots to corporate portfolios, because again, you now defined what your specialization is. So then they're going to come find you for that specialization. You have one client that publishes quarterly and annual reports. Each year for the annual report, the board gets together for a photo, which is published in the report. By knowing that there's a demand each year for this board group portrait, you can set aside time to be sure you're available for that shoot, or approach them because when the annual report's being done, go ahead, put that in your calendar or your CRM, if you want to call it that way, is to say, check in with them 3 months prior when you know that they've started working on the annual report. Say, hey, we did that great photograph for y'all. Be happy to do it again this year. But again, for example, maybe each member of the company's board and the executive team would like a portrait for their company website. So again, it's that cross. So they had the experience with this nonprofit or this annual report. Well, they have businesses too, so they may want pictures as well. And so when you reach out to plan the group photo, that would be a great time to pitch those additional services and perhaps even bundle all the work into a single shoot. Say, hey, while we're here, I can also take individual pictures for you all for your individual business profiles, et cetera. So again, it's thinking a little bit larger, thinking a little bit more out of expanded thinking to bring value to the moments that you're there. So questions about modern marketing success. How can you incorporate the right technologies within your business and optimize use across your business? And are the right people on your team and able to use this technology effectively? Number 10, marketing is at the center of growth. The old truth, marketing is important for growth. The new truth, marketing is at the center of the growth agenda for small businesses. It absolutely is, for all businesses, especially small business. There was a time when marketing was a cost center and the goal was only to maximize the return on investment. But in tough periods, when top line results were compromised, marketing is often one of the first areas that small businesses cut. Yeah, we all know that. I've got to cut expenses or cut the marketing expense. However, during the pandemic, marketing has been elevated as a driver of digital access, a key leader of the customer journey, and the voice of the consumer, all of which are paramount importance to small business owners. I want to repeat that. So because of the pandemic, that once expendable aspect of our business operations became a key touch point, a key success factor to allowing the consumer to be heard, to us being able to communicate with our customer, all of those aspects. So an example of marketing. So David Madrid is a solopreneur, developer at P2P Business Awards. I had hoped to bootstrap marketing, and my preference is still to do that where possible, as this fits with the ethos of my business, says David, a self-employed developer. This means that my external marketing spend is currently very small, but growing month on month. External spend has gone on location-targeted Facebook ads, Google ads, off-page search engine optimization activities, and link building. David added that he is increasing his internal investment in blogging, developing a social media following, engaging in local and startup Facebook groups, conducting polls, and asking questions to generate engagement. Up to now, I found Facebook ads to be an effective approach to generate views, more so than Google ads, although engagement has been achieved best through Facebook group, posting about our blog, and engaging with others' questions. The budget for Madrid's external marketing activities has increased from what he says was an unrealistic $1,000 per year to $5,000 per year. He continues to evaluate whether his budget needs to increase as his business is new and as he has to increase brand awareness and online presence to gain a foothold in the industry. So again, this is a really specific example about how this individual really focused and found where the best return on his money investment was by investing in blogging, so writing blogs, whether he wrote them or has someone else to, using those in local and startup Facebook groups to promote his blog articles, conducting polls, and asking questions. So very specific is where he was able to do. So are you prioritizing marketing as one of the key drivers of your success? Are you? And do you have a marketing budget? What does that look like? And is that something that can increase as your business increases? So as we get ready to kind of wrap up and ask for questions here today, some key takeaways. Segment customers based on purchasing behavior. So put your customers together, segment them according to their purchasing behavior. So define consumer segments that describe people according to multiple dimensions that influence their purchasing behavior, from their psychographics to their attitudinal characteristics. Number 2, know your competition. Personalize your customer's experience for optimal results. I love this. Understanding that you are competing with their last best experience. Those other hotels are now competing with my last best experience at Hotel Bentley, which is pretty remarkable. Exceed customer expectations. Use technology and data to learn what customers want and focus content, commerce, community, and convenience on these expectations. Number 4, strategically court customers. Businesses should focus on various types of marketing channels to court their customers. Branding and performance marketing work best together. And optimize your customer journey. Continuously map and evaluate your customer journey to determine changes in customer needs. Ensure that all touch points are integrated and on the same page. Number 6, build trust with your existing and potential customers, and understand that lasting relationship with your customers is built on trust. Whether B2B or B2C, customers remain loyal to businesses that they can rely on. Consistent in product quality, the customer service, accessibility, data protection, etc. Number 7 is increase your marketing agility. Become flexible in your marketing and operations so that you can quickly assess changes in consumer needs and behaviors and make changes when necessary. Understand the values that impact customer buying behavior. Consumer choices no longer solely focus on quality, convenience, and price. Again, sustainability, trust, social justice, ethical sourcing must be considered when developing your marketing strategy going forward. Understanding that marketing success relies on more than technology. Technology is an amazing tool, and it's with effective use, it's useless. Ensure that your technology is user-friendly, customer-centric, and that it's tailored, and that your team and your customers are equipped to effectively manage these tools, to use these tools that are there. And number 10 is elevate marketing to the center of your growth. Develop and continuously prioritize your marketing strategy, tactics, and budget. So now let's see if we've got any questions that we can go through. Oh, don't do that. There we go. So do we have any questions for anybody? From anybody? Trying to do this here. There I am. Okay. All right. Well, there's some great information in this, and I know, trust me, there's a lot. So I know that we're going to provide this to you. But again, taking the time out to review these, to review some of this stuff, and just picking out where you can come in and pick the different areas that are vital and important to you that you want to adjust. But build this into kind of like your operating plan over the course of the rest of this year to expand on those different areas. So Christina, do you have anything that you want to close out with? I know that I think we have a survey that everyone's going to fill out.
Yeah, thank you, Orhan, for an informative session. So everyone could please take a look in the chat of the control panel for any resource links and contact information that we provided. And as Orhan mentioned, just as a reminder, you're going to be redirected to a brief survey once this session ends. Please give us your input so that we can implement your suggestions as best as we can. We thank you for attending today and hope you join us for future events. Enjoy the rest of the day, everybody.
Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day.